Welcome. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a brilliant, safe start of 2024. I'm Eric. I go by Eric the Whiskey Guy, and we have a treat for you this week. It is a low-key, under the radar, not even on your list probably, bourbon of the week. I'm kind of glad that I picked this one because it's a bottle that I've been seeing pretty much since I started going to the liquor stores and never thought about it. Let me introduce you to the McAFEE benchmark. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, Eric, why are you so excited over a $22 bottle of bourbon? Because kind of like what I touched on last week with the brand new bottle, the Blue Run, I didn't really go into many details, but I was like, you know what, I'll keep that for another day, and today is perfect to go over it because what these videos are pretty much all about and what I'm learning, because I learn something new every week, and I just want to just pass on my knowledge that I'm receiving to you guys. And the whole point of these videos is basically to see, does the price reflect the value? Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. Does the price reflect the value? Because that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. And this is a perfect example of, does the price reflect the value? Now, already, you're probably thinking, okay, this is going to come in with some low expectations. And I thought the same thing until I did just a little bit of research. I did just enough where I was like, you know what, I'm making a video today. I picked a good one for this week. Benchmark. Now, if you think about the word benchmark, that's kind of putting some high expectations on it, because the short version of benchmark, the definition would be the standard. The standard. So was McAfee thinking, you know what, when it comes to quality bourbon, it starts right here with benchmark? Or was it, well, hey, if you don't like it, hey, we told you we're average, right at par. So we're going to find out today. Now, to give you a little history of the benchmark, it was made in 1960. It was created. It was a Seagram's product. Remember the first one, not the first one, the second one, Crown Royal? Same company. Now, in the Crown Royal, I didn't really do too much research on that one, but apparently, Seagram sold Crown Royal, so Seagram got rid of them. They sold it like 2009, I believe. Now, in 1960, I'm thinking that the bourbon was kind of after the post-prohibition era, and I think they really was trying to focus on having a high-end product. I don't know. I'm assuming that Crown Royal was still doing good in 1960, but they were like, you know what? Let's try to take it up a notch. That's my speculation. Because if you bought a bottle of Benchmark at the store, you didn't get it in a bottle. They put it in a decanter. So it kind of looked, when you walked out the store with something like this. So once I seen that, I was like, you know what? They going high end. They was this is a premium bottle in 1960. If you went to a party in 1960, a house party, they probably had a guy rolling around a little cart that had the liquor on it, and I'm guaranteed a Benchmark was on that cart. What's the TV show? Mad Men, like filmed in 1960. When you went to the office, they in there smoking cigars on the clock, and they opened up the drawer to have a little bourbon with their buddy that came in to see them. I'm guarantee you, it was a bottle like this, or the Globe. You know how they open up the Globe and 1960 in the 60s benchmark. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's see if the expectation is there. Now, since 1960, 1989, Seagram sold Benchmark. Sold it to Sazerac, Buffalo Trace Distillery. So in 1989, Benchmark went from playing baseball with the Oakland A's to getting traded to the New York Yankees. Now, if you think about it, you going to the New York Yankees, there's already 7 other people on the team that's better than you. Before you even on the plane, you know that. So that's pretty much where they are. Now, Benchmark, their price has always consistently stayed at $22. Every time I've seen this bottle. Since 2000 to 2024, this bottle has always been $22. Now, it's kind of in that gray area because if I'm going in a store and I get $22, it's like, okay, I can get a fifth of Benchmark, or I can get a liter of Canadian Club for $17. I'm getting a liter. So it's always in that range where, oh, I can't get it. Nah, let me go for the quantity this time around. I only got $25. So I never got it. But I've been looking, and I want to kind of step out of my comfort zone. Like with the holidays, I was getting bottles that I wanted to try or wouldn't mind trying and have it for that week for the holiday. Now, you know what? I look at the bottom shelf now because there might be some gems down there. There's some oysters at the bottom. So I seen it, and when you look at the bottle, it just kind of looks kind of like generic, like it should just say bourbon on it, right? It just, it doesn't, it's not flashy. It's not flashy at all, but let's see if it gets the job done. Now, it's in the category of it's being distilled at Buffalo Trace, so that's already a A. And before that, it was distilled at a distillery in Kentucky, which is now Four Roses. So the DNA is in this bottle. The DNA is there. Now, the reason why I think it's at $22 is because 1960, you're trying to come out with a premium bottle of whiskey. I'm gonna assume this bottle was probably about $8 in 1960. So it's enough if you have a little common sense and you read Benchmark. The title alone is clever enough for you to, you know what, I want to try it. But for the working man, it's enough for him to have it too. And in 1960, if you're making 75 cents an hour and you get you a nice $8 bottle of bourbon, for that night or for that weekend or for that period, it probably kind of makes you feel good that you worked hard for. You're drinking premium, you're drinking some good bourbon. And I think they wanted to keep that with the Benchmark product. That's probably why it's always at $22. It's, you know what? It's a good drink. I'm gonna just say it's a good drink just off the DNA. But it's a good enough drink, but we want everybody to enjoy it. But like I said, it kind of get caught up in that gray area where you got so many other options. So let's just see how it is. So it's the Benchmark Foolproof. I went with Foolproof because it just sounds better. It's kind of like a Excedrin. You always get the extra strength. Why not? They probably put a little extra tug on it, right? That's why I went with Foolproof, and it is actually coming in at 125 proof. Ooh, that's gonna be some kick. I already know it. I already know it. So let's dive right into it. The Benchmark. Does the mark start right here, or is it at the bottom? We're gonna find out. It does have a little bit of that Buffalo Trace smell to it. It's something about that line. This is what I call it. It got like an ether smell to it. I can't put my finger on it, but they got their own little smell to their products. Blanton's got it. Rare Eagle got it. Weller's, all of them got like this smell. Like you like, yeah, I know where this came from. So let's see. Foolproof. 125. That's not bad at all. Ooh. Let me stand up for a second. Ooh. That's not bad. That is not bad. That is a elegant, cheap smoothness to it. That's all I could come up with. It's like, ooh, it's like driving a go-kart that glides like a Lincoln. For some reason, like it's nice. This is I like that. I like that. Benchmark, $22. When I said earlier, does the price reflect the value? This has exceeded the value. As far as a fifth of bourbon for $22, this has to be in the top 5 that I've tried. And trust me, I done tried a lot of rock gut whiskeys. This is better than Kentucky Gentleman. It's better than the Canadian Canadian. It's probably better than Canadian Club too. Almost anything Canadian is probably better than that. This is a good one, and now I kind of understand why. You know how they got some of the bottles right at the front door, like if you can walk out with them. This is always on a shelf, like they don't never. So they know their worth on this. They know it. $22 is the best that you're gonna get. It's the best you're gonna get. And before I let you go, I just want to kind of touch on a couple things that I've noticed in my journey. Now, there's a difference between your favorite bourbon or whiskey, your go-to bourbon, and your everyday bourbon. There's a difference, and don't let people kind of throw you off. That's why I think it's kind of hard talking bourbon with a lot of people, because they ask you what's your favorite bourbon. So if they ask you your favorite bourbon, it's like you're kind of obligated to kind of throw out your best foot forward. That's your favorite bourbon. But if you think about it, if I tell you I drink Whistle Pig 18 is my favorite bourbon, you're like, how many times have you had it? Like that's a $400 bottle. What do you? So what I'm saying is, this is a nice everyday bourbon. It may not be your favorite, it may not be your go-to, but it's a nice everyday bourbon. Like if somebody asks you what you're drinking for the game, benchmark will suffice. Benchmark will suffice. And don't let the price fool you. Do not let the price fool you. I used to think about that, and I'm throwing that out the window. Now I'll pay $100. I'll pay more than $100. I remember back in the day we used to go to the club and buy a fifth of Grey Goose for $125. So I don't have a problem spending. But there's value wherever you look. Eagle Rare, everybody hype up Eagle Rare. That's a $35 bottle all day long. But it's so rare, and they keep it hostage where you can't get it. Blanton's suggested retail price anywhere between $54 and $65. That's the suggested retail price. So even some of these quote unquote high ends, the price is right there at the benchmark. And when I say benchmark, I mean the standard. So this coming in $22, this is your best bet, especially if you like to put a little bit of ginger ale, a little bit of Coke in there, kind of. You right on point. You was right on point. If you like to put ice in it, drink it straight. Put two. You get one of these, put 2 ice cubes in it. You'll think you're drinking some scotch, some Johnny Walker 17 or something. So the value is in it. But we gotta know which ones. Like that's what these videos is all about. So we can kind of go through it and see it. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about benchmark. I give it for the price range that it's in. I give it an A+. This gonna hit a home run every time. This is the 1989 Reggie Jackson number 22 for the Yankees. Y'all have a good day, man. I'll see y'all next week. We're going to do it all again.